Hi, welcome to The Sacred Journey. The Sacred Journey is the program that reminds you that life is a wonderful adventure and each and every experience we have is a unique and perfect opportunity for learning. I'm Joyce St. Germain, and today's program is the use of rattles in shamanic work. Now, you've, I'm sure, over the years seen either myself or someone else who's a shamanic practitioner use rattles for a variety of reasons, and you might not have realized what it is we're using them for or how you might incorporate them into your practice. It doesn't have to be a shamanic practice. There's a lot of good reasons to bring rattles and that kind of sound, that kind of percussion into your practice, whatever that might be. I have a ton of different kinds of rattles here, and I'll be showing you a lot of them and telling you a little bit about their unique personalities and how I use them differently or for which purposes. Rattles will change your brain waves into theta. Theta is the state of heightened awareness but relaxation when we're daydreaming, when we're shamanic journeying, when we're in a trance state, when we're under hypnosis. We are very likely in theta state. When you're sleeping and you're dreaming, you're in theta. Well, why would we want to be in theta? Think about it. When you're dreaming or daydreaming, your conscious mind is out of the way. It's either distracted or has been lulled into a physical sleep. Whatever it is not interfering with, I call it your higher self or your true self. You're not thinking, oh, this isn't possible, this is wonderful, but no, I have to stop thinking like this. Whatever this experience is, I can't experience it because it doesn't make sense, because it defies the laws of physics, because it just is too unusual or too strange. The reason your conscious mind isn't doing that, it's out of the way and it's allowed you access to the subconscious. So it's a heightened state of awareness. It's what I would consider a higher state of consciousness. When we bring you into theta with sound, it is often, not always, often to 4 beats a second. Now, I can't count 4 beats a second, but I can feel the effects of 4 beats a second. There are times we'll go up to maybe 7 or 8 beats a second for different purposes. There'll be times we'll go into a lower beat per second, maybe a heartbeat to align with the heartbeat of the earth. We might do something at a slower pace. But let me show you, I'll start with my absolute favorite. I have a collection of rattles, and when I say collection, they're my tools. I work in partnership with them, but I have one that is my go-to, my favorite, favorite, best word I can think of. This is it. This is a real hard leather. It's buffalo, extremely hard. Someone also suggested that if it's not buffalo, it's elk. I did not get to meet the artist, him or herself, so I can't tell you for sure. I'm only going from my experience about how hard and thick it is. You can see it has a quartz crystal on the end. When you choose a rattle, whether you want to use it for relaxation or dance or journeying, whatever you want to use it for, the sound has to feel right to you. Too harsh, too soft, too busy, not enough, whatever it is, if it doesn't feel right to you, it's not the right rattle for you. This has the sound I love, the look I love, the feel I love. I love how I can cradle it in my hand, and this is how it sounds. I'll invite you to close your eyes for a few moments. I will rattle at 4 beats a second just to invite you to see if you might have an experience of maybe a little expanded awareness. Now, keeping your eyes closed, I want you to notice, because you likely notice my voice has changed. It might not feel like it's coming from the same source, meaning whatever speaker it is that's providing the sound for you. It may almost feel like it's surrounding you. You may have a sense of your body feeling a little different, your awareness not seeming like it's contained into your body or your mind or your brain, whatever you normally think of it as. You might have a sense that your awareness has expanded, that your perception is not at the same place or at the same height. I sometimes say that after I have done some rattle or drumming work, by the way, drums work the same way, but tonight is about rattles. We'll do another program on drumming. I describe it as when I stand up from hearing and responding to that sound, I almost feel like I have to duck my head so I don't hit the ceiling. I'm not even 5'1", okay? Or as I like to say, 4'13". I'm a little less than that, but I get the sense that my energetic being is so much bigger than my physical body. You might have had that same experience. This particular rattle is a beautiful expression of the masculine and the feminine together. As you would imagine, the bowl part, it's like the womb, female. The crystal serves as a handle, and I'll show you some other rattles that have handles. That's the masculine part. So this is uniting the masculine and feminine. Not every rattle will be the same way. This is a rattle that is just a sphere. I believe it to be clearly feminine. This is made out of wood, has a different sound. Very soft sound, lightweight. This is a great one for traveling. I find this one to be nearly indestructible, but when I have my tools, my partners, I don't like to think of them as possessions, but tools that I work in partnership with, I treat them very, very carefully. I have special wrappings for them, special cases, special boxes, whatever it is that I believe honors the materials, which I'll get into, the craftsmanship and the intentions of working with the rattle. So this one is clearly feminine, okay? You do not see a stick or a handle or a crystal or anything, and it looks very, very womb-like, very feminine. This one's easy to travel with because it can take a little bit of jostling around in your luggage or in your bag. I always take my sacred tools in my carry-on and not in my checked-on bag, just because I think of, is it replaceable? How would I feel if it got taken or misplaced or lost? And I don't believe I could replace these, and it would make me feel kind of irresponsible that happened. This is another female type egg. Both wooden. Hear the sound? This one has a little bit more oomph to it. A little bit softer. Okay, if I were picking one out for journeying, I like a little bit of a sharper sound than this. Also, I use them in shamanic energy work to enter into someone's energy field. A kind, gentle, and respectful way is to rattle in their presence or working remotely with them, rattle to gain, with permission, access to their energy field, do the work it is that you're doing, and then I use a rattle to seal things back in so that the work we've done, I call it energy cauterizing, or energy balancing, the work we've done has now been locked, if you will, into place. Masculine and feminine, the gourd and the handle, and I use these as a pair. This particular pair are done with a wood burning tool of the petroglyphs that you find in the Southwest. In fact, particular petroglyphs. And it is okay to make alterations on a rattle to make it more comfortable or meaningful to you. I haven't had these that long. I find the handles a little too smooth for my liking, so I'm not exactly sure if I'll wrap them in deerskin or what exactly I'll do. I will do a shamanic journey to see if I am guided that there would be something to be added or altered about this that would make it more suitable for me, maybe more personal for me, rather than, because they were not made for me, but I could make them so that the design of them is a little bit more unique to me. I have a lot of them here, and I have to find room to put them. This one was made by a very dear friend who's very gifted, and it's wooden, and it's carved out of one piece, the handle and the bowl. It's an absolutely beautiful sound. It's so beautifully balanced, it just feels great in my hand. You could hold it this way. You could hold it the traditional way, or what you would think would be traditional. You can hold it lots of different ways. It's what feels right to you. This is a double-sided rattle. One side is buffalo and one side is elk, so they have two different medicines. One is the medicine of stamina, that would be the elk. The buffalo is the medicine of prayer and abundance. I use this when I'm doing balancing work, maybe left to right side balancing, top to bottom side balancing. I might even use it, and I know this looks like old high school days of baton twirling, which I assure you I wasn't coordinated enough to do. But figure eights weave energy or move energy from one place to another and bring them into balance. Think of a figure eight. It's like infinity sign. This is a great one to do that. And don't be afraid of trying to make a rattle. They're much easier than you might think. This rattle has a shape and an animal. It's a lizard that has meaning to me. Those of you that have seen any of my advertising or business cards or anything know that there's a lizard on it because that's an important symbol to me. So this had meaning just by the symbolism in it. And it's a gourd, which feels as hard as wood. Not sure what's in it. Sounds like there's some metallic pieces. But I liked that this also has ridges on the belly. You can use your fingernail or a little wooden stick. It's not exactly a rattle when you use that, although you could probably do both. I use it more for this, but sometimes it's fun to just get another sound out of it when you're doing some meditative work. Seashells. This is a seashell with little BBs in it, as is this one. The difference is this has little metal cones on the bottom, which create one more sound to give the addition of that little metallic tingly sound versus this. And if you go to a powwow or a shop that has rattles or different sacred instruments, and you see one that you absolutely love and you go, the sound isn't quite right, but I can't take my eyes off of it. I can't stop holding it. It just feels so wonderful, but the sound isn't quite there. See if there's a way to adjust it. One of these two, I don't remember which one, the sound wasn't quite right for me. I think it was this little one because I loved how I could cradle it in my entire palm, and I thought it would be easy for traveling. So I just lifted up one of the edges of the leather and I added some more sound making beads or pebbles, or perhaps I put BBs, more BBs. I don't remember. It was probably pebbles because I also like to use things from nature, especially if they're from a place of meaning or value. I have gathered some little pebbles from fire ant mounds out in New Mexico. And with the permission of the ants, they were just throwing them out when they make their little nests or homes. They just flip the little pebbles that are in the way out of the top. So I got them, offered my gratitude. I probably put a pinch of tobacco. If I didn't have tobacco with me to offer my gratitude, I might have put a strand of hair or a drop of saliva. And I just touch my finger to my tongue and then touch the earth and offer a prayer of gratitude for that. So some of the rattles I've made, I've put those little pebbles in. Things like rice tend to deteriorate. Okay, they're just too soft. So they're fine for a temporary rattle, but if you want something lasting, you want something a little bit harder. Another kind of rattle is a shaker style rattle. Okay, this is made of deer toes. These are the little hoofs and the little bony part. And in most native, and I'll say most just because I don't know anything to the contrary, but I can't say for sure that it doesn't exist. In most of the North Central and South American indigenous tribes, they believe that using all of the animal as much as possible is a way to show honor and respect and gratitude. And when you make a drum or a rattle from animal parts, it's believed you're giving the animal its voice back. It's a great honor. So this is a shaker style. You can see the handle is antler, and these are all antlers. So it has a beautiful shaking sound. I use this more in ceremony, clearing energy, opening space, calling in the directions, not so much for journeying. I just find it a little harder to control the sound at 4 beats a second. Could it be done? Of course it can, but it's not one of my go-to for journeying. And I love this one when I'm teaching workshops to show something important. You look at the beautiful order of things, the same amount of beads, same colors, same order, beautiful repetitive pattern. And when you get up toward the top, you see there's a blue bead where you would think there would be a red one. It is not something that the artist or the craftsperson did randomly or haphazardly. That's called a spirit bead. That person, that artisan, said, I'm not perfect, I'm human. Only creator, a great spirit, Wankantanka, only Tankashala, only that which is holy and sacred is perfect. I'm human, I'm not. So they make a mistake on purpose as a way of remaining humble, to remind themselves they're human. This was a gift from someone. It's from the Amazon, and you can see the bright colors are one of the appeals here, and the little seeds. And it's a kind of, I think, a nut. I don't know for sure, but it's absolutely beautiful. And knowing that it was a gift that someone thought I would enjoy working with it, gives it a whole lot more meaning. This one can easily be made. It's a stick with a wire and flattened out old bottle caps. The little discs hit each other, it's a different sound than when they all come together and hit the stick. Someone once said, I notice you're putting an emphasis on a certain beat every time you're drumming or rattling. It happens quite naturally, and I would agree that it's almost like a not intentional, but it happens, and it just so you hear it there too. It just happens. This one I bought because I loved the symbolism. I loved Medicine of Spider, which is the weaver. It represents infinity. And if you look at the body, there's only 2 parts, not 3 like insects. It's infinity. And 8 legs. We deal with, most of the time, we work with and focus on 7 major chakras or energy centers, also pronounced chakra. Shamanism, sometimes we use 8. Again, another show we'll get into, because I know I'm going to run out of time. I always do. So this one also has the medicine wheel, the Lakota colors for the 4 cardinal points on the back. Elk toe rattle. You can see the difference in size, the femur bone and the toes, and it's carved with shamanic symbols. I only use this for certain shamanic healing work, for certain ceremonies or journeys, only for shamanic healing. That's the agreement that I have with it. And someday if I work with you in person, I'll tell you how I came to have that. This is a combination of deer, wolf fur, and I'm just thinking if this is elk or buffalo. I'm embarrassed that I can't remember right at this moment, because I wanted to tell you more about the wolf fur. Wolf medicine is the medicine of love and the medicine of teaching. And we get the medicines by watching behaviors and traditionally what we learn from them. And this artisan had many of these. And when I picked them up, because I work a lot with wolf medicine, my main ally in non-ordinary reality in the shamanic worlds is a wolf. I work with many animals, but that's my main one, and I knew that I wanted to partner with a rattle that had wolf. And this one, the fur on it danced. I love this rattle. This is probably my next favorite, although I'm not comparing them, but these are my 2 special place in my heart rattles. And the reason it's hard to tell elk and buffalo is they look similar, they feel similar, and maybe by the end of the show, my recollection, my memory will come back and I'll be able to tell you which one this is. I got that out in Taos. Here's another shaker style. Again, it's deer. You can see the antler, all of the deer toes, but it also has a carving of a turtle on the end, so it carries turtle medicine. Deer medicine is the medicine of gentleness. Turtle medicine is the medicine of bringing you close to the earth, letting you know that you are a part of the earth, not apart from the earth. So this purpose would be different. I use this in large groups to open space, or to set a group intention or something collectively. I want to just put this back so I have a little bit more room to work here. This is my little traveling. I can go anywhere with this, but if I'm going to do energetic cord cutting, I have one of my smallest, easiest to travel with cutting tools for cutting energetic cord cutting, for cutting energy threads and cords, and this is juniper. I absolutely love the sound. It is the smallest one I've ever found that's wooden. It's virtually indestructible, although as you can see, I take very careful care of it. So giving it or making a case for it to travel isn't a very respectful thing to do. So this one's home is in a deerskin pouch with a beautiful agate cord cutting tool, and these partner with each other. These stay together. This was made in Costa Rica by a wonderful Nicaraguan craftsman, and it was a gift. I love the sound, and what I love about it is it feels very spacious. So if I am needing to journey to a place for myself or on behalf of someone else, and I feel like I need a lot of space around me when I'm there for exploration and for receptivity, this is the one. But I wanted to show you this because this is its stand. Beautifully, beautifully carved and wood burnt and something applied to it. I'm not sure what. This lizard, which is the medicine of interdimensional travel, okay, going into altered states such as what we're talking about. So for this rattle to be cradled makes it something very, very special. You'll often see rattles too, especially from Central and South America, that have seed pods on them. I added the feathers, and something might be used for a different purpose. These might have been used as dance rattles. It is okay to use it for journeying, shamanic work, energy work, setting intentions. But when you do get a new rattle or a new sacred tool or anything, smudge it. Okay, we've done smudging before on the show. It honors the elements of earth, air, fire, and water, cleansing, purifying, intention setting. So I always do that with my new tools. This is from Ecuador. This is just so sweet. I go smile when I use this one. Now, sometimes I use pairs of rattles. I showed you one pair. I'm thinking that through the magic of editing, I may or may not be back magically, or else you'll have to hear my feet go across the floor and come back, depending on how much editing we do on this. But this is another pair, and I had my eyes on them for a long time because I loved the workmanship. I loved the colors, and it was a wonderful surprise when I got them. They sound very different than all of my other rattles. And why do I like that pair? Sometimes I'm doing energy work. That symmetry is really important. I'm watching the clock here. I'm here solo, as you can tell, so I'm doing my own timing and my own filming and everything. I think I'm out of time. I'm hoping that I didn't forget anything, that I've inspired you to look into rattles. Feel free to contact me if I could guide you in any way. And thanks for joining us on the sacred journey. We'll catch you next time.